Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your podcast host here at Action Coach in Central Texas. Today we have Eric Goldreyer, CEO and owner of Bnbfinder. And Eric is here to share a little bit about his business. And know that if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. Thank you, Eric, so much for being here today. Please give us a brief overview of your background and tell us a little bit about your business.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I would say my background is love hospitality. Always used to go stay in actual bed and breakfasts years and years ago, and I started a company called Bnbfinder.com. We created the largest property management software system in the industry and the largest database of actual bed and breakfasts. So we were the biggest in a small pond, I would say. Sold that in 2010 to HomeAway, which then sold to Expedia in 2016, as you probably know. Went on from there to co-found a company called Turnkey Vacation Rentals, which became the second largest property management software company in North America. And we sold that to Vacasa a couple of years ago. So back in the space with a company called Bnbfinder, and the 30,000 foot view is think Airbnb without service fees. So we don't charge the crazy service fees that Airbnb and Vrbo and those guys do. So having fun.
That sounds incredible. Let me book my first vacation.
Yes.
That is amazing. So, generally speaking, what does your current ownership structure look like? Are you the sole founder or are there other outside investors in the company?
So the company was founded in 98 by a lady, Mary White, and she passed away in 2020. I bought the company from her in 2019. I own and control the majority of it, and I've got some friends and family that have a small piece, and obviously my team has some of it as well.
That's incredible too, to see how this is taking off. So when you look at your role, how many hours do you spend working in your business, like the job of your business? And then how many hours would you say you spend with like working on the business, strategy, planning, and things like that?
For me, I'd say the mix is more strategy planning, 60-40. I've got a team that sort of makes things happen on the operations side, sales, marketing, engineering, etc. And I'm more taking my experience from Bnbfinder.com. We had a property management system called Reservation. Vacasa also own a 20-room inn, Sage Hill Inn and Spa, just south of Austin, which gives us an opportunity to sort of be involved in the hospitality space, as well as two vacation rentals. So I think I'm in a position where, having done a marketplace before, I'm more of the, okay, guys, let's do this. And this is what we need to happen. And then I have the team to help me get it done, because without them, I would be worthless.
Our teams carry us, that's for sure. So who primarily does your business serve? Like if I was in your audience, how would I know I was a good fit for your service?
Yeah, you like to travel.
Hmm.
You want to stay in a vacation rental. I mean, anybody that has ever, so we're a marketplace. So we've got a supply side and a demand side, right? On the supply side, we are professionally managed vacation rentals, so property management companies,
Hmm.
of which there's hundreds of thousands in North America, and way more than that globally. So on one side of the marketplace, we've got the supply, which is property managers, and we help them distribute, market, and book their homes that they represent for homeowners. And then on the other side, we've got the travelers, and any traveler that's ever booked a stay on Airbnb or Vrbo or Booking.com or TripAdvisor, you name it, and they thought they were paying, $250 a night for 4 nights, which was going to be about $1,000. And then when they were done, it was, $1,683. Those are our customers.
Mm-hmm. That's very innovative. I think, it's like moving into that and like really saving a lot of costs because that makes a big difference.
We like to sort of say we're disrupting the disruptors. When Airbnb sort of launched 2008, feels like 2010, really. I know they relaunched several times, but they were bringing a sort of a new inventory to the travel industry to displace hotels sometimes, but oftentimes not, right? It's sort of different segments of the market. People wanting to stay in a vacation rental in a neighborhood with laundry facilities and a kitchen and space to hang out versus a hotel where you maybe want to be downtown and you don't have all those amenities. But when they did it, it was sort of a less expensive way to travel. And we just feel that it's, as they've gotten more and more share of the market, it's become actually an expensive way to travel because Airbnb, Vrbo, those guys tack on another 15 or so, 20% to the cost of the property for a service fee, for the convenience of booking on their platform. And we don't think that's needed. So we're really bringing back the bnbfinder.com, the HomeAway, the Vrbo model of old, which is, hey, property managers pay us a small monthly fee to list, to market, and you keep all of the revenue, saves the traveler money, and it saves the supplier money. So it's a much more efficient model. We feel that, I don't care how good your website is, and be the first to say it, Airbnb has a really nice website. Those guys are, design guys. They've designed a really clean UI UX. They still can't provide the level of service that a professional property manager can. Someone that's in Austin, Texas, that's lived there for 15, 20 years, their whole life, and they manage properties, and they know the restaurants, and they know the places to go and the things to do, blah, 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 blah. And they're there in case something breaks and, your air conditioner stops working in Austin in July when it's 108 out. So, we don't list for rent by owner properties. We only work with professionally managed properties. That way the traveler knows that they're going to have a nice experience. Someone's going to be there to support their stay. It's not going to be a ghost listing. The listing's going to exist. Airbnb pulled 168,000 fake listings off their site in November. We don't have that problem. So it's sort of bringing back really the OG way that marketplaces were created.
Definitely. This leads me kind of into some questions about marketing. I'm always curious about what successful businesses are doing. What percentage would you say of your monthly sales is going back into your marketing budget for the company?
Well, it's a hard metric for us right now because we're just now rolling out into the vacational space. Our revenue is very small, so it's over 100% that we're spending in marketing than what we're getting, obviously.
For sure. And what are some of these strategies that you're using right now for marketing?
It's going to be the same mix. I mean, there's no silver bullet. It's going to be the same thing that anybody would do. It's SEO, it's PPC, it's press. We think press will be a good one for us because you've probably seen the huge amount of negative press service fees have been getting, whether it's Airbnb or it's Ticketmaster or it's resort fees or parking fees or whatever. Fees have gotten crazy out of hand. And so we think that the press side of that's going to help us a lot. The fact that we don't have the fees. Social is a good one for us. We do weird one-off things like we work with Wheel of Fortune. It's the largest syndicated show, a TV show in the world. And I think we were just on it Friday. So we're on it fairly often as the vacation rental bed and breakfast provider for Valentine's week or, bed and breakfast week, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, that's incredible.
And then we think word of mouth will be big.
Yeah.
We think word of mouth will be big because people like to talk and travel. I mean, about things they've found, right? And travel's one of those sexy things that whether you haven't seen someone for 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 months or a year, it's like, well, hey, where'd you go? What'd you do?
Yeah.
Did you go skiing? Did you go to the beach? Did you go to Europe? Well, I mean, let's talk. And inevitably, if you've got a game changer product for people that can save them 20%, they can pay for their airfare or go get massages for for the family, or bring in a chef, or stay in a nicer place, or stay longer. So we
Yeah.
feel that it's such a material savings for the traveler that word of mouth will be a big one for us. But we have not gone out to the traveler demand side of our marketplace yet, because there's still a couple of things on the website we want to get live before we go out and tell the world, here we are. Meanwhile, we're working on the supply side to add more and more and more inventory. We're up to, I mean, we just started into last April, beginning of May. So it hadn't even been a year yet. We've got about 1,100 property management companies representing about 65,000 properties on the site right now. It's a start, but we need a lot more. So we're continuing to focus on adding properties while we add a few more things to the website that we want. And I would expect that we'll go out to the traveler side of the marketplace next month in March and do a press release and let people know, hey, we exist, got good inventory, we've got a great website. You're going to save a chunk of money. Come check us out.
Oh, yes, for sure. Now, are you domestic or are you
Great question.
international?
Great question.
Yeah.
Right now we're international, but it's North America. So it's US, Canada, Mexico.
Okay.
It's really, where's the PM located, right? If the property
Yeah.
management company is in the United States, but they've got properties in Cabo, great, we can do that.
Okay.
But we want to make sure that we are sort of solving for fraud and making sure that we can do background checks and stuff.
Definitely. Kind of circling back to a little bit about you, what made you choose to go into this business for yourself as opposed to choosing to work for somebody else? A lot of entrepreneurs come from a work background and they find that passion and creating a business. What was your story with doing that?
Yeah, I don't know what I think some people are just born with that sort of trait. I mean, I
Mm,
remember when I was in elementary school doing little bit businesses, right? Whether it was mowing yards like a lot of kids do, or it was coming up with other little business ideas. And in
mhm,
college, I didn't want to get a job, quote unquote. So I created a little business, right? To
mhm,
make money. I've just
mhm.
always liked finding opportunity and solving a need.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
enjoy that. And I think when that collided with my wife of 33 years and my passion for travel and staying at bed and breakfasts,
Mhm.
uh, I just saw the opportunity to create a solution there that would make it easier for innkeepers to find travelers and vice versa. And I
Yeah,
think that started it all. And it's weird that here we are back doing it again.
Well, it's very cool to see, coming full circle like that. And I'd love to hear about what is a roadblock or something that you were faced with, a challenge along the way that you overcame, and how did you do it?
A roadblock. Let's see. I mean, I could think of a lot of different types of roadblocks. Which one's the most relevant? It's hard, the thing I think that comes to mind the most to me at this point is recreating your team, right? When I sold bedandbreakfast.com, I mean, I had an amazing team. We've been in it 15 years, and you sell that and you hand your team over to this new entity and they give their, 2-year lockup, and then they go off and do their own thing. And here you are back at Bnbfinder, and you want to put an awesome team together, right? And
Mhm.
it's not just automatic. I think I've been very blessed that a lot of the people that I worked with in the past at bedandbreakfast.com wanted to make another run at it. And then with our background and our experience and our track record, we were very fortunate in that we were able to get people added to the team because they understood what we were doing because they were in the industry. So when you
Mhm.
look at our team now, I mean, the collective years of experience in the travel and vacation rental industry among our small team is like 125 years. It's ridiculous. And
Wow.
it's just because one, we've been in the space for a while, but two, we with a successful exit with bedandbreakfast.com, a successful exit with Vacasa, uh, I think people are like, okay, these guys, this isn't their first rodeo. They have a little bit higher chance of success. Nothing's guaranteed, right? But I think that helped, and I think people saw the fees and they're sick of fees themselves, and they understood our model and they thought our model was on point and resonated, and so we've been able to create a good team. But I
Mhm.
think that is one of the roadblocks people have is getting a team together that actually sort of has done it and has that experience and then having to learn along the way. Not to say that
Mhm.
things haven't changed. We're learning every
Mhm.
day, but we've done it before, so we can move a little faster. And I think that counts, as a startup. Even though this business has been around since 1998 as a true bed and breakfast business,
Mhm.
for all practical purposes, since I bought it, we've completely rebuilt the dev stack,
Mhm.
put
Mhm.
a platform in place that's scalable. We did a rebrand and refresh. I mean, it's a new company for all practical purposes. But being
Mhm.
able to move faster than the next guy is important, and I think we have
Mhm.
that just because we've seen it.
Yeah, like being a couple steps ahead for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Does your team go through any specific training, or like how is that work? Do they have a specific training in like hospitality, or how do you train your
Yeah,
team?
that's a fair question. The short answer is no. I mean, the
Mhm.
short answer is the team that we've assembled has all had success in their prior lives. I mean,
Mhm.
the few folks that we're hiring that are like new to the workforce got trained by their peer uh, on our team, but we're too small to have a formal training
Mhm.
program and an HR person, et cetera. There's 19 of us, 18 of us, so we just go. It's like go trial by fire.
uh what impact what impact has all of this had on you as a business owner?
All this being defined as what?
Just like the starting of the business, the growing of the team, how has that impacted your growth as a business owner?
I think the thing to me uh, that is has been something that stood out is that when I was 28, starting my first company, bnbfinder.com, I was very intentional that I couldn't have friends and family that worked for me because I didn't want to have to walk that line. And I wasn't sure if I was mature enough to manage that professionally. I would say now it's a complete 180 from that.
Mhm.
Now, when I sold bnbfinder.com in 2010, you don't have to work anymore. You can be retired if you want. It's like, okay, well, that's not the way I roll. I mean, I'd be pulling my hair out. You just see opportunity and you want to do things, you want to create things. But this time, how does it relate to me today? Well, it relates in that I'm going to work with friends and family. If I'm going
Mhm.
to work, quote unquote, I'm going to spend time with people I want to spend time with. And I think I'm just mature enough, and maybe they are too, hopefully, that
Mhm.
no one takes advantage of the situation and everyone realizes, hey, we got to rock and roll. This is, a young, scrappy startup, go, 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 go. But it's worked out great. And I would
Yeah.
say that's one of the biggest ones. And the other one is that time between when I sold bedworkers.com and now, my three kids were of the age that they were, elementary to middle school. Now they're all, graduated college or in college. And so I have the bandwidth
Mhm.
personally to
Mhm.
dive back in and give a business like this the attention that it needs to have a chance at being successful.
100%. Do you see any leaders developing within your team, like on your team that are emerging?
I mean, of course, across throughout all aspects of the company. I mean, we're small enough that a lot of the people are leaders,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But we've got some younger folks that are just showing really uh, great head on their shoulders for understanding that we have to provide value to both sides of the equation to truly be a marketplace,
Mhm.
and how to best create a business around that can be successful. It's fun to watch.
Definitely. This has been an incredible conversation. There's so many great nuggets of advice that you've shared, and As we're kind of wrapping up the interview, I'd love to ask you a few rapid fire questions. These are very quick, top of mind answers for each questions. We just have a handful of them here.
Ask them as quick as you want. I'm not sure how rapid fire my responses will be, but
That's okay. What is one key that you've had for success?
optimism.
And what is one piece of advice you would have for other business owners?
Create a business plan. Forces you to think
Mm,
through the various aspects of a business that you may not have thought through otherwise, whether it's the
mm,
marketing, the competition, costs, variable costs, fixed costs, size of team, everything.
mm-hmm. What is one book or piece of content you're either listening to, watching that you've read or taken in recently?
I think the one that I enjoyed the most was Lean Startup.
That's a good one. I like that one too.
Yeah, yeah.
And the last question is, if you had to choose only one area of your business you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would it be?
That's a good one, a better one. What would it be? Mm, if I could wave a wand, I'd like to have all coding done that we need to have coded. Everything we need done to have all the features and functionality that we've identified live.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
Because there's such great stuff that we've got identified that's coming. But as
mm-hmm.
you know, it's all got to be prioritized. And features will continue to roll out. But to be able to make all those go live at one time, yeah, that'd be super mega sweet.
Yeah, I believe it. It's always the technology.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and we've got a great team.
Mm,
They do amazing work. But I mean, even whether you're Bnbfinder or you're Google, you got more stuff you want to do than you've got resources to do or time to do. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
it's
Definitely.
always a backlog. It's you asked what's the one piece of advice. I mean, that's another good one. Really, is just making sure that you prioritize well because you're
Mm-hmm.
never going to have all the resources you want or need. So you got to make sure you're focused on things that matter.
Definitely. That's that lean startup book is a good one for that too.
Yeah.
Well, this has been such a great conversation. Before we get to our final question for today, how can people find you? How can they get in contact with you and find your services?
Yeah, so it's bnbfinder.com. Great website. It's getting better by the month. We'll have an app rolled out by summer. Um, so whether you want an app or you want a website, we got you. We actually answer the phones here in Austin. We don't send anything to India. So if you need something, you need support, you need care, you can call us. You can actually call us and we'll talk to you.
I think that's my favorite part, honestly, is like being able to get on the phone with somebody and just like they're local and like,
Yeah,
you're going
yeah,
to have your questions answered locally. I think that's a
yeah.
great. So our final question, what is most inspiring to you today?
In general, what's most inspiring?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I'd have to say probably my faith.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not politicians. I've got less and less and less and less and less respect for politicians, or at least most politicians, which has caused me to lean more on my faith. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's powerful. Well, thank you so, so much for this incredible conversation and for being here on the podcast. You've been such a joy to interview.
thanks. It's been good talking with you. Appreciate the opportunity.